Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Thursday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name's Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Sports Talk Matt. Every morning here on YouTube, BettingPros NFL, BettingPros at NFL BettingPros on Twitter, BettingPros NFL at BettingPros NFL on Twitter. Yeah, I'll get that right. At Sports Talk Matt is my handle on Twitter. We're here wherever you get your audio podcasts. And you guys know that BetMGM is the sponsor. You got that offer, $5 if you bet side total money line on the football games tonight. You guys win $100 if any team scores a touchdown in the games you're wagering on. $100, Juice 100, that promo code from BetMGM. All right, so for a second straight day, I've been doing a little bit of an experiment. I've been showing you my entire betting card because, well, people were questioning, are you really making these wagers? Matt, I don't know. You're telling us after the fact. These are personal plays and you aren't declaring it publicly to everyone. So I've been declaring it publicly to everyone. So the pod last night went 2-2. We get one over right, one over wrong. We get one side right, we get one side wrong. For Maction, 2-2. So we're down the juice. But my personal plays went 2-1, which I told you about, taking the Celtics -3, UNLV on the under. Both those came in. Michigan should have swept it. We should have gone 3-0. I mean, Michigan's at the free throw line with 16 seconds left. They're leading by 12. It's a 12.5-point number. Some of you got 12, so you got a better number than I got late, but I got 12.5. And free throw misses. If the free throw goes down, pretty good chance they'd have one more possession. Buffalo had a possession. Maybe they could have hit a last-second shot and burned us, but we would have been up by 13 going into a last-second shot attempt for Buffalo. So I lose that bet, unfortunately, by a half a point. And, so it was 2-1 night. So 4-3 overall. So yesterday was a small winner, and the day before that was a small winner. Podcast was flat both days. So just, I'm only doing this week just to kind of show you the point because betting overnight is difficult. And oftentimes betting right before tip, you can read more, take more research. You can take a look at other people's plays. You can have an opportunity to talk to different people throughout the day. There's just different things you can do to find yourself in a better position. And I take advantage of all of that. I mean, I have access to some really sharp people and some smart people, and I love taking advantage of that. So, talking it through plays, say, hey, this is where I'm at. What do you think about this game or that game? So that's a long way of telling you that, look, I will today, again, list every play I'm going to make. I'm not always going to do this, but right now I have a little extra time, so I can do this for you guys. And you can fade or follow, do whatever you want with it. So I've got 2 one-unit plays for you guys here, both with the the football games going, one in college, one in the NFL. And then I will probably have some college basketball, and I might have some NBA. I've hit my last 2 NBA bets. So I kind of want to keep rolling a little bit with the NBA. I like what we're seeing with the NBA, and college basketball's gotten off to kind of a 500 start, but not horrible. So, and I do want to go back to hockey at some point. I feel like we've neglected on hockey, so maybe come in with that. Prop bets potentially as well, all in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, or the link underneath me here on YouTube to get in. By the way, just a heads up, we are approaching the 500th episode of the Daily Juice. I have asked Dan Harris if we could do something special, like a giveaway or something cool to celebrate the 500th episode of the podcast. We have hit 3.5 million listens in less than 500 episodes. So again, when I say thank you and when I talk about where we are and what we're doing and how cool it is, the story of the Daily Juice is one that people are paying attention to. The industry is paying attention to, and it's all thanks to you guys and the community that we have built together with the Discord channel and on YouTube and here on Twitter and everywhere else where you get your podcasts. It's really cool. The DMs you guys send me and everything we've done over the last year and a half together has been it's been the highlight of my career. And I'm 44 years old, so I've been working for a while, and I've had some very cool things happen in my life, some very cool jobs, including working for my favorite radio station of my life and working for WEI in Boston. I thought that was going to be one of my career highlights, or maybe the career highlight, was getting a chance to be on, that station and, doing radio and hosting shows. And nah, man, nowhere near as fun as this. Nowhere near. Let's start in college. North Carolina catching 6.5 points up against Pitt. So what's interesting about this football game to me is that North Carolina's record on the road is really bad. We just don't have enough evidence to 100% believe that Carolina is a bad road team. They've played two true road games, and one neutral site game. They're 0-3 against the spread in all three of those games. You guys know I love me some Sam Howell, okay? And I was eyeballing this team to make some big noise, do some big things. Hasn't happened, right? I mean, just hasn't happened. Defensively for North Carolina, they are awful. If you go to Football Outsiders and you take a look at where they are in terms of defensive metrics, this defense is really bad, man. In terms of expected, it's called a metric that they use on Football Outsiders. It's called defensive points per drive and defensive DAY, defensive available yard percentage. Okay, so how many yards are they giving up? Are they allowing and giving up? It's not pretty here. Carolina's defense just gives up a ton here. You know, they are one of the teams you look at and you're like, man, I thought Carolina going in, they're 109th in the country in that stat. 109th in the country in terms of yardage. They just give up a ton of yardage. In terms of defensive points per play, it doesn't get much better for this defense because, well, they're giving up points on points on points. And it's not just like, just basic metrics. Like, these are really bad metrics for North Carolina. They're 96th in that, in defensive points per play in the country. So overall, if you look at what Football Outsiders calls it DFEI, Defensive Efficiency Index ratings, Carolina has the 91st defense, okay? Just in general terms, if you're looking at Carolina as to what they do on the football field in basic terms, well, they give up 33.4 points per game. That's 104th in the country. They give up 5.9 points per game. That's yards per play. That's 91st in the country. 7.6 yards per pass. 4.7 yards per rush. That is 97th in the country right now. They give up 41% on third down. They give up a touchdown on 84% of red zone trips to offenses by their defense. 72nd in the league, in the country, okay? On the other side, we know about Kenny Pickett, right? We like some Kenny Pickett. I love Kenny Pickett, okay? This guy should be getting Heisman conversations. Why he's not, I have no idea, but he's putting up huge numbers for Pitt. Last time at home against Miami, they played like crap. They turned around, went to Duke, destroyed Duke. Everybody beats up on Duke, okay? Everyone kills on Duke. However, you look at Pitt and you look at where they are right now offensively. This is a team that converts on offensively. They're converting 46% of the time on third down. That's 21st best in the country. They're scoring 41 points per game. That's 5th best in the country. 6.4 yards per play. That's 22nd best in the country. And 520 yards of offense per game. That is 4th best in the country. This offense cooks. And this offense cooks at home, all right? This year, against the spread, Pitt is 7-2. But at home, they're 3-2. They've done a fairly good job. They beat Clemson. The last time we were on them, they beat Clemson outright, all right? Then they turned around, and they did not play well against Miami. They lost by 4. They came back late, but they were 9.5-point favorites, and they lost by 4. Go to Duke, crush Duke. In the home games, they have played okay. Western Michigan wasn't pretty. 14-point favorites. They lost by 3. Against UMass, my school, to open it up, 38-point favorites. They won by 44. Other than the Clemson game, this is prime time, and this is the biggest game of the year for this Pitt team. It's a chance if you want Kenny Pickett to get in the Heisman race, he's got to put up some big numbers, okay? He's got to put up some Heisman Trophy type numbers. The number is 6.5, and the total is 73, all right? I don't think Carolina's defense can slow down Pittsburgh. On the other side, I think Pittsburgh's defense is better than people think. And the metrics are bearing this out right now from a defensive perspective. Offensively, we know what they can do. But defensively, Pittsburgh, if you look at we're talking about the DFEI rankings, essentially the DVOA of college football, they're 36th in the country, okay? We're talking about the overall, yards the day, the yards available. Pittsburgh, not bad, okay? They are 16th in the country in that stat, all right? Points per play, expected points per play, They're 31st in the country. Okay, so it's a defense that's better than people think. They're 6-2, and they're not as, porous as maybe we would think, even though when you look at over-unders for Pittsburgh, they are 7-2 to the over. And North Carolina is 6-3 to the over. On the road, 2-1 for Carolina on the over, 4-1 Pittsburgh to the over, all right? I'm leaning towards an overplay. Personally, I most likely will be on the over here for this game, but I'm a little concerned about Carolina not being able to score enough to get to 73 for Pittsburgh. This number under 7, it feels better to take Pittsburgh minus 6.5. I don't like it at 7 or higher, but under a touchdown, I think Pittsburgh at home, Heinz Field, prime time, eyes on them, chance to get their quarterback in the Heisman Trophy conversation. 1 unit, we're laying 6.5. Pittsburgh minus 6.5 at home against North Carolina. I do lean over, and I probably will have an overplay personally on it. I haven't bet it yet. I do want to see weather forecasts and everything else on that to see what happens in Pittsburgh. It is, November in Pittsburgh, so let's see what the weather is. If, freak storms pop up or whatever. But right now, 1 unit, Pittsburgh minus 6.5 at home against North Carolina. Let's hope Carolina goes to 0-4 against the spread on the road this season. All right, let's go to Ravens and Dolphins. Number is 7.5. 46.5 is the total. Man, there are some really interesting things to look at for these teams, but it comes down to these defenses suck. Like, there's no other way to say it, but these defenses are absolutely atrocious. DVOA, Football Outsiders, same thing, okay? Miami, 25th in the NFL DVOA. Baltimore, 26th DVOA in the NFL. These teams stink, okay? Offensively, though, they're pretty good. They can move the football. The Ravens are really bad this season when they're laying 6.5 points or more, by the way. They're 0-4 against the spread when doing that. Miami at home, catching 7.5 points is really inviting. And I'll probably take it, okay? I'll probably tell you right now, I'll probably be on this personally, taking the Dolphins at plus 7.5 for a half a unit, taking a flyer on it. But I don't know about Tua. Like, if Tua plays, I would jump on 7.5. If it's Brissett, oh my. I mean, that scares the living heck out of me. Brissett, the defense for the Ravens is not good. Like, we know this. They are not good. And they do have a little bit of a sense of, like, playing down to their level of competition this season. We've seen that happen before for this team. And it's like, do I really trust the Miami Dolphins to be able to score and stay within a touchdown? I don't know. With Tua, I kind of do. With Tua, I feel much more comfortable saying they would be able to do that, even though they're 2-7. They just had a tough time with with the Houston Texans and everything else. It's like, man, they've been a crap team this season, and they aren't scoring a lot, only 17 points per game, but they are moving the ball fairly well through the air, and okay, they can't really run the ball. It's a big problem for them. Only 75-yard rushing a game for Miami. It's a big problem. And the Ravens give up a ton of yards on the ground, 161 yards per game. So maybe the running attack for the Ravens get going. Maybe you take a prop bet on Gaskin, something like that. But 17 points. They win 17-9 against Houston. In the games before that, they scored 11 against Buffalo. They scored 28 against Atlanta at home. They scored 20 against Jacksonville. They lost all 4 of the games against Tampa. Scored 17, lost all 4 of those games. They're 1-3 at home. But there is a home field advantage on Thursday night for sure. I told you I am no longer playing primetime unders, and I'm not doing same-game parlays. I think a lot of people are going to take the Ravens and tease the Ravens down to 1.5, and they're going to go ahead and take the total at 46.5, pull it down, and bet the over 40.5, all right? What happens if Miami wins the game? Like, that's just where I am. Tua plays, what happens if Miami wins the game? I don't know. I feel much more comfortable talking about the crap defenses and have either the Ravens score 40 points on their own and Lamar Jackson goes crazy on this defense for Miami, which is a huge issue because Miami's defense was supposed to be their calling card, or we get a good game going back and forth and it's like, a 28-24 type of game, or it's like a, 24-23 type of game, and we still get there. We get to 47, right? So the total is 46.5. Primetime overs have been pretty good this year. I'm just coming back in here. 1 unit over 46.5 Ravens and the Dolphins. Points. Let's get points. Let's get points on 2 really bad defenses. And I'm leading 7.5. If Tua gets cleared, Tua's in. I'll be on 7.5. I just can't do it. I just can't do it right now. I just can't do it overnight. So I'll have a bunch more plays coming up, like you guys have seen. I've got 2 full unit plays going, so I won't have more than a couple of plays, 2 or 3 of them, but I will have a couple of more, probably some player props coming at you in the Discord channel, maybe a couple NBA player props, and I may have just 4 player props I may give you at all. I don't know. We'll see. But I will have more plays, as I always do, in the Discord channel. I'll tell you my full card like I have. But for the podcast overnight, 2 official plays, 6.5. We're laying it with Pittsburgh at home against North Carolina. And we're taking the over 46.5 for the Dolphins and the Ravens coming up here tonight on Thursday Night Football. My name's Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter, @SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.